Jack it up.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel, No Sodium Podium. Today is my third video. Thank you for watching my other videos. I really appreciate it. Today I'm going to make my salsa recipe. In this recipe, I basically use some fresh tomatoes and roasted tomatoes with some veggies. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with it. All right, for my salsa recipe, I've got, these are all my ingredients. I do my salsa recipe with half of fresh veggies and some of it with roasted veggies. So for the roasted part, I've got three tomatoes, half a green bell pepper, half yellow bell pepper, three jalapenos, garlic, and onion. All of this I'm going to smear with smear with olive oil and put it into the oven. And then I've got a cucumber. I'm going to peel this off and then chop it up. And I've got two tomatoes. I'm just going to chop this up as well. And then I've got a bunch of fresh cilantro and a few Thai pepper. It depends how spicy you want. So I've got some of it here. With that being said, let's go ahead and fire up the grill. Okay, for my salsa, I've got my veggies out for roasting in my grill. I've got my tomatoes, jalapenos, bell pepper, onion, and I've kind of coated them with a little bit of olive oil, and I'm going to go ahead and put them in my grill now. Okay, for my salsa, I got the tomatoes all roasted up, as you can see. I made one small change. Instead of three, I went with 4 tomatoes, and I added 2 dried red pepper. I roasted them as well. I think I'd forgotten about them, so I roasted those 2. And then I've got garlic here, jalapenos, and onion. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get them all cut up and put into a food processor. Hey guys, my veggies are out of the grill now. So these are the ones that got roasted, and these are the fresh veggies that are going to go into my salsa. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them up into smaller pieces and then put it into my grinder and get them ground up. I'll keep them chunky. And then for my fresh vegetable, I'm gonna cut them up a little into smaller pieces, put it into my food processor, and then get them all mixed up. So all right, I'm gonna cut up my tomatoes. I'm just gonna cut into big chunks, which should be fine, and then I'm gonna throw it into the grinder. So this should be good enough. I'll just put it here, and then for the jalapenos, I'm gonna take this off. And I'll kind of finish off with the rest of it, and then we'll show the next step. All right, so I have cut all my veggies that were roasted. So these are the onions and the jalapenos that was already roasted in my grill. I did not put them in the grinder because I don't want them to be all mushy. I want them a little bit chunky, so I left it as is here. And the tomatoes and the garlic, and I did put 1 jalapeno here. Rest of it is all in here. So as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and get my grinder started. I'm going to start off with a medium. So we don't want it to be too liquidy, so we're going to give 1, 2, and 3. That should be plenty. That should be the consistency. And we'll finish off with this. Now we're gonna work on our fresh veggie. We're gonna get it cut up and then we're gonna add on to this. So for my fresh veggie, I've cut it into, I've kind of broken into 2 portions because I have a very small food processor. I've taken all the peppers and cut it into smaller pieces, and I'm going to put it into my food processor right here. These are all red, yellow, green, and orange pepper. Let's see how this works out. This is a very small food processor. We need to get a bigger one. Okay, so let's get this going. Okay, I think I need to plug this in. All right, and let's see. Yeah, this looks good. This is exactly the chunkiness I want, like really small cut up pieces. And then I'm going to add this to this mixture. So, all right, and now I'm doing the other batch. I've got just the cucumber, and I put a little bit of fresh onion. I don't want it to be too onion based, so I put a little bit of fresh onion, and then I've cut up one fresh tomato, and I'm going to put in my food processor again. This is just to get the freshness, so we'll have a little bit of freshness to my salsa, as well as the roasted taste to it. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and grind this. Get this one cut up as well, and then we'll go ahead and add all of them up. Okay, and finally the last one, but this is the most important, last but not the least, cilantro. Cilantro is very, very key to my salsa recipe. So I've again chopped this up into a little bit bigger chunk, and then I'm going to put it into my food processor, just so that they don't get jammed up. And then we're gonna kick it off. And this is the last step. And then the next is we're just gonna add all the things that we have already got all prepared, and we're going to mix all of them up together and show you what I do next. All right, so this is the final step. I've got everything ready. So this is all my ground up tomato, onion, roasted. So I'm putting that in here. So that's all here. To that, I'm going to go ahead and add my fresh tomato stuff. So this is my fresh tomato, cucumber, and a little bit of onion that I had added. And to that, I'm going to add my fresh peppers. So that's my fresh pepper. And then I'm going to add my pepper and onion that were roasted to get that roasted smell. And then, most important, my cilantro. So I'm going to go ahead and add my cilantro here. Very, very important. All right. And then for spices, I add a little bit of cumin, just a bit. Maybe for this much quantity, I would add maybe a teaspoon of cumin. And then I'm going to add pepper, black pepper. Maybe I would say a teaspoon of that freshly ground black pepper. And then lemon juice. Very important also. Depends how sour you like it, but I would put maybe a quarter to half a spoon of lemon. There we go. All right, and then we give it a mix now. And then finally the salt, of course. That's our salt substitute. In this case, we are adding salt substitute. I just eyeball it to figure out how much salt we might need. I would say for this much, maybe 2 tablespoons. And I cannot taste it and see, but I would say about 2, maybe 1.5 tablespoons. And that's it, guys. This dish turns out really good with chips. And here you have it, chips and salsa. Thank you for watching.